guys still rolling?
Yeah.
Great. Where have you guys been? Do you know how dangerous it is to walk around an office full of donuts? People have been like accosting me here. All right, let's do this.
Okay, cool.
So here's the thing. When you go into a pastry shop and you see all the croissants and all the laminated dough pastries and the Queen Amands and beautiful things in the case, chances are, unless you are a stone cold professional, you can't do a better job than they're doing in that shop. However, I would say that when it comes to donuts, the best donut you'll ever have is the one that you make yourself, because they are shockingly easy to make. So within the world of cake donuts, the sour cream donut for me is a little bit king. The reason being that it's a very kind of pleasantly neutral, just a touch like kind of tangy donut, but it's rarely too sweet. I think Adam's making avocado rings. We're seeing something very special back here. So sour cream donuts, they have that kind of pleasant, kind of neutral base of like the old-fashioned donut, but without the obvious cinnamon or nutmeg kind of flavoring. And they just bring in a little bit of brightness from the standpoint of like that tanginess from the sour cream. But I have to say, I found when I was testing donut recipes that use sour cream, I actually found that the sour cream was making the dough unpleasantly wet and kind of sticky to work with. In the final donut, it was kind of weighing it down because sour cream and creme fraiche have tons of fat in them. I ended up putting yogurt in these donuts. So let's just get that out of the way. It's a sour cream donut with yogurt in it, or it's a yogurt donut in the style of a sour cream donut, or it's a sour cream style yogurt donut, or maybe it's just a friggin' yonut. I don't know.
In action.
Okay, we're back. That's what it's like here every day. So, very simple. This is 2 cups of flour.
Which in grams is? Trick question.
Easy, easy. So 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon kosher salt, that is Diamond Crystal. If you're using Morton's, basically use half of that, 1/2 cup of regular sugar. Now, the wet ingredients. So first we've got our eggs.
What happened?
Man, some days, This is 1 cup of full fat Greek yogurt. So I mentioned the fact that, sour cream and creme fraiche just have a ton of fat in them. Whole fat Greek yogurt, is there some fat in there? Yeah, sure there is, but nowhere near as much as, sour cream is gonna have. No big deal, we're mobile.
What? This is a member of the test kitchen we don't know about, Chef Mike.
No, he stays. That was wild. So the fat and the water content from the butter that had already melted, when it was heated up, the water just exploded in there. So we got a redo on that. So Chef Mike fired.
Hot Pockets!
Everything's cool, nothing exploded. I'm gonna whisk all this together. I just wanna break apart the egg and get that really smooth, because this dough is gonna come together real fast. So that's good. And then I'm doing dry into wet here. So I'm just gonna bring this together. As I mentioned, you want a pretty wet dough, but you don't want it so wet that you can't handle it or that you really need to chill it. Incorporate the rest of this flour by hand. I do not want to overmix this, but I do want it thoroughly mixed. I'm just gonna go just until there's no spots of dry flour remaining. That is good. Whenever you like sacrifice a hand to just get sticky, try to keep one hand not sticky. That way, like answer phone, text, sticky, not sticky. I'm going to be very generous with the flour. If there is one tricky part of this recipe, it's the fact that you want to create a good barrier between the dough and the parchment, because if the dough sticks to the parchment, it's going to mean that you're going to break up the surface of the donut so that when it goes into the oil, you're going to get a little bit extra kind of oil seeping into the donut as it fries. So I'm being super gentle with this. Just want to make sure nothing's sticking. To that end, I can even flip it like that, you know, where it wanted to start sticking there. I can brush off all this excess flour later, but I'd rather go heavy and then remove it. So I'm gonna flip this. That's good. Not too much stickage. And I'm going to 1/2 inch. Cool. A dry pastry brush is really your friend here in terms of getting excess flour off of stuff.
A little bit like a Jurassic Park thing going on there too.
Yes, thank you. And I'm not above like the whole like Lost World situation, the Chris Pratt whole thing. On a Plane, I'm sorry, that movie is like the best thing that's ever happened at like 35,000 feet. All right, so 3.5 inch circle cutter. Ooh, can I get 2 out of that one? Ooh.
Oh, I see what's going on.
Do you see this
here.
craftiness? So I'm gonna save these holes, brush them. Gonna fry these. The only danger in having excess flour on the donuts when they go into the oil is just that the flour is going to burn. One thing that I found with these donuts, with any donut in general, and cake donuts specifically, you want them to open up. You want them to kind of have craggy edges that kind of crack apart so that they can kind of soak up the glaze, you know, have kind of nooks and crannies and a lot of texture to them. Towards that end, you need a very wet dough, but one that's not so wet that you can't handle it. So ideally, you would kind of brush off some of the excess flour before re-rolling this, just so you don't have seams of, you know, raw flour. All right, no more re-rolling. We're going with 8 donuts here, all right? So I've got oil at just above 350, and I've got it in a heavy pot so that this pot will hopefully recover quickly once this relatively cooled donut dough goes into it. You kind of have to fry a donut. Nobody wants a baked donut. You have to buy those special little molds, and they just kind of suck. Yeah, you want this oil ready to go when your dough is ready. So preheating it is kind of essential. As you can see, we're getting some lovely cracks and fissures. You know, that's a high hydration dough with a lot of baking powder. And we're getting like, you know, some good color, good browning, and it's really opening it up. And that's exactly what we want. That's cheating. You didn't ask me what my favorite dinosaur was.
I said character.
Character.
It's
Oh yeah.
It's
I
a
think
walk-on roll.
Velociraptor number 5 really brought it home.
The one that opens the damn.
You obviously don't want to overcrowd the pot, you know, but honestly, your main limitation is just what's happening with the temperature of your oil. Having an oil thermometer really is kind of essential. Can you kind of eyeball it? Yeah, you can. It's just not ideal. It's like, this is what I'm talking about, like that crag, that openness, you know, to the second side. When you lay things into oil, put the near edge in first and then lay it away from you. Does that make sense? I'm feeling really, really good about these. Cool. So I just want these to cool a little bit before I put any glaze on them. I've got powdered sugar, I've got water, and then I'm just gonna do a touch of lemon zest and a pinch of salt. Salt just to bring out the flavor of the lemon, just to give a slight balance to the sweetness. I am a little bit more of a purist. If I'm gonna have a glaze on a donut, I just want it to be like gossamer, thin, kind of veil of glaze. Veil of glaze. So just whisking till everything dissolves, and then I'm just gonna throw a little bit of lemon zest in it. You really taste the zest come through against the sugar. It's like you want to go into the glaze and then get it out of the glaze really quickly, and let all the excess kind of drain off. So as you can see, the glaze, like, it took just the tiniest bit of crispiness, especially off just like that top bit where it's pooling. But if we were to allow it to just dry out kind of completely and fully set, you'd barely notice a difference. So these guys get to eat treats, cookies, food all day, but our long-suffering coworkers on the 26th floor, not so much. So we're gonna make special donut delivery down to our colleagues, you know, in our office space, and see what they have to say. Hey, how's it going? Do you want a donut?
I want the.
Will you show them what it looks like in there? Like as much like a yeasted donut as it does like a cake donut. It's just very light.
Mm-hmm. It's delicious.
Meryl, can I get you a donut? It's cool. Oh yeah, put it under the cloche.
Can I take a donut home?
Yeah.
This is the lid. You could dip in coffee. They're really
Oh my god, it's like this like begs for a cup of coffee. We should have done coffee.
Brought coffee.
We
too.
should, yeah.
No,
that's
yeah,
fine.
no milk
Next
with
time.
the cookies.
Next
no coffee.
time.
Who's
I'm
putting these
sorry.
things together?
You know, let's go find Beggs, quick.
Not even a donut.
Jesse, quick, grab a donut because we gotta go for Beggs. We're quick, grab. I gotta go get Beggs.
Oh, wow, shit.
Oh, great.
Oh, out the back door. I literally just saw her turn the corner. Next time, Beggs. Oh, they're not here. Isn't this the yellow room? Oh, there.
Oh, it's that one.
Ryan insisted that we interrupt your meeting.
Please come in. This is a good interruption. Wow.
Would anybody like, it's a yogurt donut in the style of a sour cream donut. We're still working out the name. All right.
On camera. My bad.
Oh, God.
This up.
Oh, God. Oh! Please.
Oh my God, thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you.
You have to.
Did you bring any espresso?
That's the second request for coffee. Sorry. Next video.
Am I?
I left a whole one for you.
Poor guy.
It's so open and light.
I was about to say, the lightness, just like used to.
Mm-hmm.
Exterior texture, though, that's where it's at.
Yeah. Don't eat the holes. It's a long story.
Okay. What happened?
Just don't worry about it.
I like tossed in like a cinnamon sugar kind of situation. Though.
Okay. Yeah. A
With
little
this
bit.
glaze.
Nice. Just a touch.
Real nice. Is this gonna be a daily thing now?
All right, Chris, and then the last thing I want you to do is I have a little activity for you.
Yeah.
I want you to take this, and I want you to write donuts, because we're curious how you spell it.
Doughnuts.
Donuts. I knew it. Okay, thank you.